there any such thing as good sugar?
No, it's sucrose. It's the same stuff, and your body doesn't differentiate whether the sugar is in a fruit smoothie or the sugar is in a chocolate.
Here's what I eat for lunch as a high-fat 5-year carnivore, and I eat this way to maintain my 30-pound fat loss.
The current guidelines suggest no more than 10% of our calorie intake to come from added sugars.
Have you ever wondered why a $1 burger exists, but a small bowl of fruit can cost more than an entire fast food meal? Most people assume it's because healthier food is harder to grow, but that's not the full truth. Junk food isn't cheap by accident. It's part of a structured system that rewards certain types of food production, shapes the environments people grow up in, and even influences what feels normal to eat. And when you finally try to escape junk food and move towards something healthier, you don't just enter a better world, you enter a more expensive one, built on branding, illusion, and status. So is healthy food really expensive because it costs more, or because someone decided it should feel that way? Welcome back to the channel, where we break down the hidden psychology, systems, and power structures shaping the choices we make every day. If you're new here, I expose the realities we often live through unconsciously. If you're interested in questioning the systems we've been conditioned to accept, consider subscribing. Now, let's dig deeper. Most people assume unhealthy eating is a personal choice or lack of discipline, but in many cases, what people consider normal food depends heavily on where they live and how that environment was structured over time. Crops like corn, soy, and wheat used to make cheap oils, high fructose corn syrup, and processed filters are heavily subsidized by governments. These subsidies allow food companies to mass produce junk food at extremely low costs. That's why fast food chains can offer full meals for $1. Meanwhile, fruits and vegetables are legally classified as specialty crops, which means that they receive little financial support. The result isn't that produce is inherently expensive, it's that the system chose to make processed food artificially cheaper. In many low-income neighborhoods, this pricing model defines the food culture. These areas often become food deserts, places with limited access to full grocery stores that offer fresh and affordable produce. Instead, people are surrounded by fast food outlets, corner stores filled with soda and chips, and shelf-stable processed meals designed for long-term storage. Eating cheap, processed food isn't an occasional decision. It becomes part of a daily lifestyle. Over time, this creates a psychological divide. In wealthier areas, healthy eating is normalized. Green juices, organic yogurt, bowls, protein smoothies, and fresh produce are just everyday items. In lower-income areas, the same foods can feel financially out of reach, culturally disconnected, or even associated with elitism. And to reinforce this divide, marketing plays a strategic role. Fast food ads, dollar menu promotions, and billboards are more aggressively targeted towards lower income communities. Meanwhile, health and wellness ads with clean aesthetics are heavily targeted towards wealthier neighborhoods. So when someone breaks out of this system to pursue healthy eating, they're not just switching food categories, they're stepping into a completely different social and economic identity, one that's marketed as aspirational, disciplined, and expensive. The moment someone tries to leave the world of cheap processed eating, they often enter the wellness industry, a space where food isn't just sold for nourishment, but for identity, status, and moral positioning. In higher income markets, health is not just about physical well-being, it's about discipline, control, aesthetics, longevity, and perceived moral choice. Brands market clean eating, organic ingredients, and plant-based options as lifestyle badges. Packaging is minimalist. Ingredient lists are highlighted in bold. Buzzwords like natural, sustainably sourced, non-GMO, gluten-free, keto-friendly, and cold-pressed signal that this product is smarter, cleaner, and worth paying for. And because it is branded as premium, it can be priced as premium. And juice that costs less than $1 to manufacture might sell for $10 or $12 once it's bottled, labeled, and placed under bright lights in high-end markets. Health in this space becomes a performance of virtue and self-control. People are sold the idea that paying more for health is a form of personal investment or proof of self-discipline, but this also creates financial pressure. When health becomes expensive, those who cannot afford it may internalize a sense of failure or shame, even if the system made those options difficult to access in the first place. And yet, despite the elevated prices and promises, even this healthy space is not always what it seems. Many consumers assume that if a product is labeled as natural, organic, or clean, it might be good for them. But in many cases, these labels are part of a psychological illusion designed to justify higher prices rather than deliver significantly better health outcomes. The term natural often has no strict legal definition, allowing companies to apply it to foods that are still highly processed. Even organic labels can be misleading, since organic farming still allows certain chemical treatments, and the high markup often reflects branding rather than production costs. Even fresh produce can hold hidden risk. Fruits like strawberries, grapes, and apples frequently test positive for multiple pesticide residues despite being marketed as healthy staples. Consumers often believe they are making a cleaner choice, unaware that their better option may still carry chemical exposure and concerns. Beyond the produce, many processed health foods are simply reformulated junk foods in disguise. Protein bars may contain heavy amounts of sugar alcohols or additives. Veggie chips offer little nutritional value despite their name. Granolas, advertised as wholesome, often contain more sugar than desserts. Even green juices may remove most natural fiber while concentrating sugar content. The difference between junk food and health food marketing often lies less in nutritional reality and more in how the story is told. Packaging becomes earthy, fonts become softer, colors turn green and beige, and the consumers are led to believe they are escaping harm when in reality they are simply entering another system of consumption. All of this noise raises a deeper question. If junk food keeps people hooked through convenience and craving, does the wellness industry keep people invested through fear and aspiration? When you step back far enough, a disturbing pattern emerges. The system profits when you eat junk, and it profits when you panic about eating junk. It profits when you stay sick, and it profits when you desperately try to get healthy. It profits when you feel guilty, and it profits when you seek redemption through expensive health products. Diets dominated by ultra-processed foods often lead to chronic conditions such as obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and metabolic disorders. But even many people who shift towards expensive health foods still face long-term health risks from hidden chemicals, nutrient gaps, and stress-based consumption habits. And when health issues arise, the pharmaceutical industry becomes the next economic beneficiary. Many foods and pharmaceutical corporations share investors, and in some cases corporate ties. The same larger financial ecosystem that benefits from processed food consumption later benefits from medical treatment and drug dependency. Listen, this creates a closed loop of profit. Cheap food leads to illnesses lead to treatment leads to reoccurring costs, and fear-based health marketing keeps consumers cycling between hope and dependency, which is a society that is either addicted, anxious, or chronically ill, remains financially valuable to the systems in place. This video is not here to tell you to eliminate all junk food, live in fear or every label, or spend your life analyzing ingredients in a state of panic. That is not sustainable, and fear-based living is not freedom. The goal is not to eat perfectly, the goal is to eat consciously. Most people don't realize they are being influenced by pricing, by placement, by cultural conditioning, by labels, by aspirational narratives, or by fear. The first step is not a drastic change, it's awareness. Maybe it's learning which foods carry the most pesticides. Maybe it's choosing one or two less processed alternatives when possible. Maybe it's understanding that packaging does not equal purity. Maybe it's simply pausing to ask, who benefits if I buy this, and what am I being led to believe about it? You don't have to avoid comfort food. You don't have to apologize for enjoying convenience when life is hard. You are allowed to eat for joy. But when you do choose, let it be a choice, not something pre-selected for you by a system built around profit. Because the real power lies not in following a perfect diet, but in refusing to live in autopilot. So if this video helped you see the food systems in a new way, and you're interested in questioning the deeper structures that influence our lives, feel free to subscribe and stay connected. Here we uncover what's beneath the surface, not to make you afraid, but to help you stay awake. Thank you for watching, take care of your body, protect your mind, and I'll see you next Sunday. Much love.